It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. We are sitting down with National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist Tony Merriman. Weather.gov is where you got to go for information about your local forecast if you're not hearing it from me. Hello, Tony. Welcome back.
Hi, Paul.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
We had you here in the fall to talk about the fall-winter prediction, and I thought we'd have you come in the month of February to kind of talk about how winter's come along so far. It doesn't seem like it's such a fantastic winter. I think I was talking to Megan, and she was telling me at the time, this is probably a month back or so, that we were about 11, 12 inches behind on snowfall. The Flagstaff region had picked up 26 inches at the time. And we'd just fallen behind. And I look at that, and then I see there's a wildfire in Colorado in December, burning homes, and it's just this huge wildfire in the month of December, which is, you think Colorado in the wintertime, there's no way there could be a wildfire there. And then there was a wildfire in California, and we've had a couple here in Arizona. And I thought, I need to get Tony to come back in and tell us how our winter is coming along. So let's start there. How has winter been so far for November, December, January?
So far overall, as you're aware, we're well below average on precipitation. But it's interesting because we had a very dry November, and actually December came in above average for precipitation and snowfall. But then January, again, right below average for precipitation. So it's just kind of been oscillating like that. So December was a good month, but all together the whole winter, we're still below average for this time of year for precipitation.
And I think I've asked you guys this before, but our new 30-year average, which I think came out this last year in 2021, the new 30-year average for the Flagstaff region is 90 inches of snow. And at last report from Megan, I think we had picked up, I think I mentioned a little over 26 inches. So we're way far behind right now. Is there any hope?
In terms of catching up to average for the next couple weeks, it still looks to be drier than average and warmer than average for the next couple weeks. So, we're still below average in terms of precipitation, and we'll see what happens late February into March.
Okay. All right. And then something my wife brought up, she keeps looking out the window and she says, I live in Mountain Air, south of Flagstaff. She keeps talking about why is there still snow on the ground? There is still literally 6 inches of snow in my front yard, maybe 10 inches of snow sitting in my backyard, and it's just not going anywhere. And there's days where there's barely any drip off on the roofs or anything like that happening. And so can you explain why sometimes the snow will stick around? Because typically in the winter, we'll get those big storms. We'll get, 3-4 feet of snow, it seems like, all piled up. And then after about a couple weeks, a lot of it's mostly gone. But now this year, it seems like it's sticking around a lot longer. Why is that? So our temperatures for the month of January are right at average. So it's been getting really cold at night. So lows in the teens in the Flagstaff, Munns Park area, and highs kind of in the low to mid 40s. So the amount of time that it's above freezing isn't as much as it has been the past few winters. So that snow's been able to stick around, the snow that we got towards the end of December. Well, do you think that's going to be helpful to us when kind of spring starts to roll around and we start really thinking about wildfire season? Is that going to be beneficial to us? Yeah, I mean, any kind of snow on the ground, you have your snow water equivalent, which is the moisture content of the snow. And when you have the freeze, thaw, gentle melt, that kind of helps with a slow release of water into our reservoirs and things like that. So it's not all running off all at once, which is great, as long as it's just a little bit at a time. But, the snowpack is still well below average for this time of year. And, we just need more precipitation.
So let's talk about that. There's a very good reason why we're not getting much of that precipitation. And I want to ask you if you can also comment maybe a little bit Northern California, Nevada, Colorado, which supply us with a lot of the water that we rely on here in Arizona during the spring, summer, and the fall each year through the Colorado River. How has winter been playing out? What has been causing this lack of precipitation here?
So quite frankly, I mean, we're in a moderate La Nina pattern this winter. And what that does is all the storm tracks typically come in to the Pacific Northwest and then dive southeast towards the plains, the Great Plains and the East Coast. And so we're under a ridge of high pressure typically during a La Nina winter, which is what this one is. And all of the storms are just passing to our north and east. And as you saw a few weekends ago, they had a nor'easter, on the East Coast and things like that. So all the moisture is headed that way, and we're just missing out.
This is not good news, Tony. This is horrible news. Lake Mead is at the lowest it's ever been. Lake Powell is at the lowest it's ever been. I think I saw recently Lake Powell, most of their boat launches, if not all of them, are now out of the water. They're trying to come up with new locations for people to even safely launch a boat on Lake Powell, which is, that's horrible for people who want to get out and recreate on Lake Powell, but it's also for Page, the economy, it relies so heavily on people visiting Lake Powell. I want to ask you if there's any hope that we could, redeem some of our winter.
Yeah, I mean, again, if we can get these storm systems coming a little farther south, and most of the water for the Colorado River does come from the Rockies and the Colorado Rockies. And right now their snowpack is still well below average for this time of year. As you mentioned before, they had a fire in Colorado, and all we need are a few good winter storms to dump a lot of snow in Colorado to help us at least, with our Lake Powell, Lake Mead levels. But the way it's looking, again, we're getting into a La Nina type pattern. So most of the moisture is pushing farther east and away from the western United States.
Okay. Can we talk about our water year a little bit? Our water year starts, is it October and then ends end of September the next year? October to October, basically? What's ours look like so far this year?
So far this year, our numbers are actually not too bad in terms of precipitation. We talk about snowfall quite a bit, but we're more concerned about the moisture content. So if it rains or if it snows, the moisture within that is great. So actually for the water year, believe it or not, since October 1st, both the Prescott area and the Flagstaff area is about 90% of average for the year for moisture content. So that's not too bad. It's just that we're not seeing as much snow as we're used to with that amount of moisture content.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. At least it's at 90%. I mean, that's not all doom and gloom here that we're talking about this morning. But you did mention, and we've talked about this in the past too, Tony, that there's different kinds of snow. There's that real heavy, wet snow, and then there's that snow that falls down and you can literally walk up and blow on it and it vanishes. So we do need some more of those big, heavy, wet snows to come along, and maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before, right?
Yeah, or just a rain event, right? As long as we can get any kind of moisture in here, we're not complaining. But 2019, we had a February 22nd snowfall where we had 36 inches in 36 hours. But that's been 3 years ago now already. So it could still happen. I mean, we still got 2 months of winter left, so we'll see.
According to Puxatawny Phil, at least 6 weeks of winter, so about 5 left. So yeah, who are you going to listen to, Tony or a groundhog? I mean, who are you going to listen to? Okay, let's take our first break. National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist Tony Merriman with me in the studio today. Weather.gov is the website you want to go to for your weather information. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Terrifying jobs. Bull rider, take 2. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
Two things we can count on every year:
a new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in-ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B Homes.com.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Welcome back to Countywide. Tony Merriman with the National Weather Service in Flagstaff is in studio with us today. We're just getting kind of a recap on the winter. How's our water gear coming along? Our winter is below normal. Temperatures seem like they've been extremely cold, but apparently I've been told as well that temperatures are about average for this for the month of January. They were just about average. Next up, we were talking about La Nina, Tony. Is there any signs right now of La Nina starting to weaken? I feel like La Nina has been with us forever. I'm tired of talking about La Nina. I want to hear El Nino instead, but it feels like La Nina has been here forever. So is it going to weaken and go away? What's the usual thing for that?
Yeah, so right now, actually, it's probably at its strongest that it'll be this winter. And the projections are that it'll be moving into more of a, it's called neutral territory as we go into the spring and summer. But again, there's no real strong correlation between El Nino or La Nina and our weather during fire season or monsoon season. So all the correlation occurs typically in the winter months. So once again, La Nina was at its strongest during the heart of our winter, and quite frankly, the storm patterns have been farther to our north and east, and we've been missing out.
Well, I don't care for La Nina at all. I just don't. I don't. Every time you guys say La Nina, it took me a couple of years to remember what the difference was between El Nino and La Nina, and I was just like, oh, God, it's going to be a La Nina year. This is just awful news. Awful news. All right, let's talk about our drought conditions, because that's what we're going to be really focused on, I think, especially over the next couple of months here as we get geared up for wildfire season. I don't think I have to remind anybody that 2021 was a horrible wildfire season for central and northern Arizona. We had the Raphael fire, the Backbone fire. There were fires just everywhere. It was right as the monsoon was getting ready to fire up that first 2 to 3 weeks where we really don't see a whole lot of moisture from the monsoon. We just see a lot of lightning. And it was just a horrible, horrible summer last year when that happened. So what are the drought conditions? And I got to imagine you guys are really watching these closely, as are most of the fire agencies in the state, too.
Yeah. So right now, actually, for Yavapai and Coconino County, we're in the abnormally dry to moderate drought, which is D0, D1 category. This time last year, we were in pretty extreme drought, so D3 type category. So relative to last year, this time last year, we're in better drought conditions, relatively speaking. But again, with the persistent La Nina type pattern, and drying and warming conditions, we could see the fuels begin to cure and dry out, probably within the next couple months.
Ryan's got the graphic up right now on the screen, and so anybody listening might want to tune into the channel to take a look at it. But last year, I want to say most of the state, we've got the upper kind of from Page across to almost the Four Corners is showing red, but then we're in yellow right now. So I want to say most of the state was is that right, red last year?
Right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot more widespread and a lot more severe last year relative to this year. But again, next couple months, we'll see how the fuels react and dry out as we go into the spring months.
Now, how often does that graphic get put together, that report?
So this is updated every week. So anybody can check and see. Every Thursday, the latest drought monitor is put together. And it's not just one person in a vacuum. I mean, we're talking our Arizona State climatologists, all the Weather Service offices have input, and this is all generated out of University of Nebraska as a collaborated project with USDA, because it's a huge impact on agriculture, and it's as objective an analysis of drought conditions, fuel conditions in the whole United States, and it's a team effort. And like I said, we update it every Thursday. The new map comes out.
So if I go to weather.gov, where's the best? Weather.gov is the best place to go for that information, and then where would I find it once I get there?
So an easier way is if you just Google search drought monitor, and it'll be the first link that pops up.
Okay, that would bookmark it, and you've got it then. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Drought. Say that again. Drought.
Drought monitor.
Monitor. Okay. Okay, I might be taking a look at that as well, and keeping our listeners informed on that on a weekly basis, because it would be nice to put that graphic up and just to show them kind of the procession of how that drought is going to be impacting the state throughout this year. Because again, it's so sad to see Lake Mead at a point now where it's so low that we're actually we're reducing how much water is released from there. We might not be able to make electricity through there. The governor just threw $1 billion at getting a desalinization project underway. Those are some pretty scary things. And then have Lake Powell, the National Park Service, Glen Canyon Dam or Glen Canyon National Recreation Area say, we don't have any place to launch boats right now. Those are all very concerning things when I hear those and live in the state of Arizona in the desert area. So, okay. So this is something that I'm going to keep an eye on every Thursday, you said, right? Is there a time of day that usually is available?
Probably, first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Like I said, it's all of the collaboration in the map gets put together on a Tuesday, and then it's finalized and issued on a Thursday. Okay.
All right. That's great. I'm really glad to know that, because I will definitely keep track of that. Okay. So our water year is not looking too bad. We're at 90% of normal, which is great. But we are still very far behind on snowfall. But it would be nice to see if we get some between now and when spring starts, March 20th. So we're waiting on that. Rain events would be great as well. Do you see us having any issues with possible flooding this spring? Because it's usually kind of a thing I kind of watch, because we get the bunch of snow in the month of February, and March starts to warm up, and then we get the rain on top of the snow, and then we get the flooding. I don't see that as being something that's really going to be a concern this year unless things change.
Right. Yeah. So usually our peak flooding for rivers, so I'm talking about Verde River, Oak Creek, the bigger streams, typically occur in February with exactly what you said, the rain on snow type events. So if we can get a snow event sometime between now and March, and maybe even some rain on top of that, we could, but that's not really what the current projections are looking at right now. Like I said, we're pretty much looking at odds tilted in favor of drier than average and warmer than average conditions for Arizona going into the spring months.
Yeah, I know you can't say it's not going to happen. I'm just looking at what's been going on, and it'd be silly for you to say, oh, that's not going to happen, and then it does happen, and then there's Tony out on the limb right there. So, yeah, I wouldn't want you to have to do something like that. Let's take our second break. We'll take our second break. Tony Merriman with the National Weather Service is in studio with us today, talking about just giving us an update on our winter so far. Weather.gov is the site you want to go to. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is going to be Addie's room.
I am blind,
you're really gonna like it.
I hope so. Yeah.
I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
The way it's down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know this road is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me.
Your carpet is the largest air filter in your home, trapping dust, dirt, and germs from the air that your family members breathe, even the furriest ones.
That's why it's important to keep your carpet and tile clean and hygienic with regular cleanings by Zerorez. Zerorez uses state-of-the-art technology and ZR water, not soap or harsh chemicals, so zero residue is left on your home surfaces.
Schedule your appointment today because a clean home is a healthy home. Visit ZerorezNorthernArizona.com.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Welcome back to Countywide. Tony Merriman with the National Weather Service in Flagstaff is joining us today. We're getting a recap on it. Well, not a recap, just an update on how our winter is going so far. Weather.gov is the website you want to go to for your weather information. Let me ask you this, Tony. Have you guys given any thoughts so far to the upcoming wildfire season and making any preparations for that?
Yeah, so every January, February, we start collaborating with our county partners, our national forest partners, and basically the entire team that tries to mitigate fires and put them out. So we're actually starting our coordination calls here in the next couple of weeks, and we're gearing up for fire season. I mean, it's already February.
You guys were real busy last year. I mean, not just in Arizona. You guys travel up and down the West Coast, don't you? The entire western U.S. You guys take off and go to these fires.
Yeah. So our incident meteorologists, or IMET for short, we actually got a third IMET just actually this week. So usually whenever fires start, let's say California, wherever the first fires start, they typically take our meteorologists and put them on these fires to provide on-site support. So if they're already on a fire supporting, let's say, California, and a fire were to start in Arizona, we would probably have to get IMETs from other parts of the country because our local ones are helping out the folks elsewhere. So it just depends on where and when these fires come up. And we have 3 meteorologists on staff that go to these fires to provide on-site support, no matter where it is in the United States.
Are those the only 3 in the state, all stationed there in Belmont? No. Does each weather service station have?
Yeah, so we have 3. Phoenix, I believe, might have 1. And I think Tucson, the Tucson office has 2, if not more. So, we're getting new hires in this winter, and some people are getting promoted. So I'm not really sure exactly what the other offices are at right now in terms of IMETs, but I can say for certain at the Flagstaff office we have 3 as of this week.
In 30 seconds, are you getting more information from those remote locations that we've talked to you about over the years where you'd like to see more weather reports coming in from?
Yeah, for sure. We're getting a lot more reports actually from Chino Valley, Paulden, that area. But social media has really helped us in terms of spreading the message of safety and forecast information. And it's great because we dialogue with folks reporting weather from where they're at in rural parts of northern Arizona. So that helps us do our jobs a lot better for sure.
Fantastic. All right, Tony, thank you so very much. National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist Tony Merriman with us today. Weather.gov's that website. As always, we thank you for watching, listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.